Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across this beautiful blue-green globe of ours. Welcome to Real News Live. It's a Toxically Masculine Tuesday, and I'm your host, Mike Bara, in Las Vegas, Nevada, rocking the SPQR shirt tonight, the mark of the Legion. But I'm really tired. I'm tired. I really want to be in bed, but I'm not in bed. I'm here to do this show. Thank you for being here. I'm joined, as I always am, whenever we do Tuesday night shows, which is not an intermittently occasional thing. It's a fairly frequent thing, by the other three members of the Toxically Masculine team. Tonight, I'm going to start with the most masculine member of the group, which is a hard thing to do, but let's admit it. Steve Doran, the trail boss in nowhere Fuckville, Arkansas. Steve, how you doing? What's hanging? And what are you drinking tonight? And why is that banner on the screen?
Banner?
Wow. Yeah, it says this is not financial advice. So.
Anyway.
Forget about it. Forget about it. Don't worry about it.
I've been on the road all day, running, doing errands, that type of thing. And like you, I'm a little bit on the tired side, because I need like a nap big time. But by the time we get done with the show, it'll be time for bed. Yeah,
I'm just exhausted because I just did feels like a 7.5 hour football show with Brian Engelman. And, they just took a long goddamn time. So I'm wiped. I was supposed to be on Fox News tonight, for those of you inquiring. They bumped my segment at the last minute because Rand fucking Paul couldn't shut his pie hole and took way longer than he was supposed to. So I sat down there in the studio. They sent a limo. They drove me down to the studio. I had my coat on, had my hair all done right, got my earpiece in, ready to go with Will. What's his name? Will. I don't know. But he's got a show on Fox, and they bumped me at the last minute. So it sucks. Also joined tonight by the second most masculine member of the team, the man from Nashville, the owner of the Lickety Split, the finest strip club in the Nashville, Tennessee area. TV's Blake Wally. Blake, Will Kane, thank you. How you doing? And what are you drinking tonight, Blake?
Doing well. It's great to be here at this little purple nightclub here, celebrating the Minnesota Vikings victory. Great to be here. Going to be drinking a little Jim Beam Double Oak.
Oh, that's right. That was the Jim Beam from last week. You just opened that, and you're enjoying it. It's good stuff.
It is.
All right. And yeah, the Minnesota Vikings. I picked against them this week, even though I was still 11-5 in my straight up picks this week. I didn't think JJ McCarthy had it in him. He had a great game. I think your coach, Kevin O'Connell, is a terrific offensive football coach. So good for you. Also joined by the least masculine member of the team besides me. Just kidding. He's building his own fucking house. How much more masculine does it get than that? Dr. Brooks Agnew, the man with whom you cannot spend 4 hours in a car without coming away smarter. Brooks, how you doing? What are you drinking? How's the house going?
Tomorrow is our final electrical inspection. Once we pass that, they set the meter. It's lights on, and we head for a certificate of occupancy. I'm drinking coffee tonight. I probably shouldn't, but I have to be at the job site at 8 a.m. because they can arrive as early as 8 a.m.
So after this inspection, the government's going to allow you to live in your own house.
Right? Yeah. Well, they have to do a walkthrough after they set the meter. They'll flip all the light switches and turn the water on and off and make sure everything works. And then they'll say, okay, you can move in.
Oh, gee, thanks for letting me move into my own fucking house. All right. I'm not in a very good mood tonight, but the main reason for that is that the thing I was going to be talking about on Fox News is there was a UAP hearing today. Does that mean anything to anybody? No. There was supposed to be a hearing on UFOs today in the House of Representatives. It was chaired by Anna Paulina Luna, the sexy stripper representative herself. And, well, those rumors are around, Blake. They are. The rumor is actually she's a former employee.
Okay, did Mike lock up? Yes, he did.
Ah.
Am I back?
Am I back? You're all right.
Okay. The rumor is she's a former employee of the Lickety Split, actually, Blake. Yeah. So you don't happen to know her, do you? Because
no comment.
If you do, you should get me. You should get me on her show or on her committee. Anyway, something interesting was shown today, and I really want to talk about it because it really goes to the state of ufology in this country right now. So let's start with that one. And Steve, I know you're going to think, oh, this is another crazy alien thing. It's really not. There's really a bigger question here. It has to do with the kinds of stuff Steve Doran loves to fucking talk about. So
Steve Doran loves what?
Steve Doran loves to fucking talk about. So just wait. Just hang on. It's going to get there. It's going to get there. All right. This is Anna Paulina Luna, former employee of the Lickety Split, earlier today.
I'd like to ask the committee to replay that video that Burleson had played earlier. I want to ask every witness here, specifically ones that have sensor training or have been able to recognize some of this movement real quick. So if you guys can please roll that real quick.
Okay. Oh, a UFO just came in or something. What?
Okay, while this is still rolling, Mr. Nusatelli, real quick, yes or no answers. Are you aware of anything in the government, United States government arsenal that can split a Hellfire missile like this?
No.
And do whatever blob thing it did and then keep going? Nothing?
Nothing.
All right, how about you, Chief Wiggins?
Nothing to my knowledge, ma'am.
Okay, and how about you, Mr. Borland?
I prefer to answer that in a skiff.
Oh, whatever.
Does this video scare you guys? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wiggins?
Yes.
Nat?
I had a different reaction. I was really happy that it got out. Thanks for providing
Curiosity
that.
killed the cat. All right, Mr. Borland?
Yes for.
Okay. All right. That is the end of my questioning. I'd like to now recognize.
Okay, so
what
she is alleging is that this is a something called a Hellfire missile, and guess what? I just happened to have some footage of a Hellfire missile, and what Hellfire missiles are. They are anti-tank weapons, anti-tank missiles. So let's take a little bit of a look at a Hellfire missile.
Tally target tracking laser. You're good. You can shoot them now.
Got that, Panzer. Got that, Panzer. A helicopter-mounted anti-tank missile. Ooh. Cool.
Over the canal, they're now walking west to the fields west of the canal. We're going to engage it.
More than 20 different vehicles can fire Hellfire missiles. Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
They have Hellfires and they have mini Hellfires.
Ooh.
Missile firing now.
Wow. Okay. Very impressive stuff. Okay, so so before I go to the group here. Actually, I'm going to go to the group. Before I show you what this is exactly, I would like to ask you gentlemen, because you're all bright guys, and I realize Brooks and I are the aerospace guys. You know, we have an advantage here, but let's go to you, Blake, and Steve, and then Brooks. You notice anything about those two videos that is a little different, that makes you maybe wonder anything, and just anything at all you guys might have noticed? Blake, anything?
I have to watch them again.
You don't have to. You don't have to. This is not a quiz. It's okay.
Right. I did not notice anything too unusual outside of the fact that there's some sort of object which appears to be moving at an incredible speed.
Yeah.
And then perhaps
and then it gets hit by something. Yeah.
Was that the Hellfire missile that hit?
Well, what she claimed is that the moving object, the main object that's on the screen for the most time, is a Hellfire missile that gets split in two by a UFO/UAP. Steve, did you get that impression watching that video? You got anything you saw about that? Because I'm going to tell you in a second what you should have seen, but it's okay.
Well, I mean, it didn't appear to be anything out of the ordinary. It didn't appear to be anything extraterrestrial to me. But,
yeah. I would agree with that. Looks like a couple of conventional weapons platforms to me. Brooks, you got any quick thoughts on the Hellfire missile and the thing that hits it?
But I wasn't terrified when I watched it like those other guys.
I was not. Yeah, you were not terrified. Yeah, you were not terrified.
Hellfire missile has a 15-second burn, and all the targets that you saw getting hit were all stationary.
Yeah.
They put the crosshairs on it, they pull the trigger, and it follows that crosshair to the target.
Right.
The Hellfire missile traveling across the water, for one thing, way too long, and it has a top speed of 900 miles an hour. Whatever it was if that was a Hellfire missile that hit it and split it in two, had to be going really fast, and it had to have some crazy kind of guidance system, because that's a very small profile to hit at that speed from that angle.
Okay, so let's just take a look at some other footage. It's a close-up of that footage, and we will do this share here, and we will bring it up, and I will show you, in fact, what this sucker is. Watch this. We're going to watch it repeatedly. This is the so-called Hellfire missile with no flame thrust coming out of the back of it. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you, and we'll just let that kind of cycle. I guess we'll let that cycle in the background for a while. Gentlemen, that's a fucking balloon. Okay? The reason it looks like it's going fast is because it's a parallax. You've got a plane or a helicopter up above it, looking down, moving with some speed. It's a balloon being pushed along by the wind. There's no thrust. So it's not a Hellfire missile. And the thing that hits it is not a Hellfire missile. It's probably a fucking drone. And probably the propellers split through the Mylar balloon. And this is what is being passed off by that fucking clown show today at the hearing. And thank God I didn't go on Fox, because if I'd seen this before I went on Fox, I might have made a fool out of myself on national television saying, well, you know, it might be something. In fact, it is nothing but a balloon. And you know, again, let's go back and take a look at, and some of these names, you're not going to know these names. You're not going to know these names, Steve.
And had played earlier.
But let me pause this and move it forward. And let me just tell you, when you're dealing with a committee that's getting its information from this guy on the left in front, James Fox, who is a nice enough guy, but he's a dumb shit, okay? And the white guy with the white hair behind him is Daniel Sheehan, who worked for Jimmy Carter, who's also a fucking dumb shit. And then behind them, you have Jaime Maussan, who is a fraud and a dumb shit. And then on top of that, Stephen Greer's in there somewhere, who is gay, a fraud, and a dumb shit. And then you finally top it off with Jeremy Corbell, who has passed at least 4 or 5 complete fucking fraud hoaxes on the American people in the last 3 years alone. Glad I got that out of my system.
Don't hold anything back, Mike. You can get you ulcers.
Yeah. So the question I have for the panel is, because it's clear what that is. It's clearly footage of a drone, which is probably a practice target balloon, maybe being pulled along by a propeller aircraft. Brooks, they do that. A practice target balloon hit by a drone, and they're trying to see if this drone can actually hit this balloon in midair, maybe at a couple of thousand feet, making it appear to go faster. There's no thrust because the little drone that hits it is propellers. And this is being passed off as a missile, which it is not, being struck by a UFO, which it is not. This is a congressional committee. So my problem with this, the big issue I have here, Steve, I want to go to you first on this one because Brooks is the brainiac of the group. Not that you're not, but I didn't mean it that way. I'm sorry. I'm in a bad mood. Like, what the fuck is going on? There isn't one person and all that staff. And then they had all these witnesses up there, those guys in front. Oh, the guys who were terrified. They are all witnesses that have been found. They're so-called whistleblowers. They have everybody sitting behind that desk, including the people behind them, now has, as if they had any before, zero credibility because they told this poor congresswoman that it was a Hellfire missile being hit by a flying saucer. What the fuck does that say about the state of our government? Not just the UFO, but the state of our government, period, Steve. Good God, all they had to do is fucking call me.
The reality is that they're supposed to, before they go into a congressional hearing, they're supposed to have all of that, like video footage, all of their information checked out before they move forward with the hearing. So it's very clear that the people we have in Congress today are completely inept as far as how to do their job.
Mm-hmm.
They're worse than DEI hires. And then you establish a panel of people that are going to agree with you, so that it makes you look more credible. And the reality is you have no credibility whatsoever. This is nothing new. I mean, they've been doing this for years and years, even with, and been able to change laws over it. You know, they bring up something, oh, this is horrible. We have to change the law. This is going to destroy America, blah, blah, blah. And it's just a hoax. And they get witnesses who have no credibility, who don't have any expertise in that particular area other than saying they do. And it's just in my opinion, it's like a circus show.
A farce. Now, again, I've other people said this is obviously a balloon, so that put me on. Oh yeah, duh. If you look at the way it falls, it's clearly a balloon. Brooks, you would have figured it out in about 5 minutes. We both would have figured it out in about 5 minutes when we looked at the close-up footage. But Blake, I want to go to you. It's like everybody on that panel and everybody behind that panel that obviously fed this information to this committee should never sit in front of a congressional committee again because they actually believe this idiocy, which means they don't know anything about planes or missiles or aerospace or balloons or UFOs or aliens or anything. And they've completely destroyed the credibility of the committee. And from a political perspective, Blake, I got to ask you, was that the purpose? I mean, let's just assume I'm correct. What I'm telling you is correct. What do you think about that? And can you trust any member that's on that committee that took that stuff seriously?
No, I suppose not. Once you point out the reality of the situation, they all want to believe a certain thing, and without a full color, full res video, they can speculate all they want. But yeah, it almost seems like they're trolling us with the disclosure. They want it, and now they're just discrediting everybody. And those people, yeah, they probably they're useful idiots. They want to believe this stuff. They think they're doing something remarkable, and instead it's going to just make them all look like fools in the end. And I think that is what they ultimately want. And Luna is ambitious, and she cares, and she wants to get disclosure, but she's got the wrong people here. So
and again, I think I can go with you on that. I agree that I think she wants to do well, but she doesn't have any background or education in any of this stuff.
Well, they have
doesn't even know what questions to ask, and nobody's asking the right questions. Steve,
they have all kinds of experts available that they can pull from, and it's very clear she has no idea what she's doing. Again, she's just a nut. What?
She looks great in a bathing suit, buddy. She looks great in a one piece.
Yeah.
In a MAGA one piece, she's fucking hot. But go ahead, Steve.
No, I'm just saying that they have the resources available to them, and she's not even smart enough to use them.
Yeah, I'll give this to Giorgio, Mr. Hansy. At least he was smart. At least he was smart enough to stay the fuck away from this. Good God. All right. Yeah, and again, it seems designed, Brooks. It seems designed to destroy the credibility of everyone in that room. And I think that those four smug idiots that they have as whistleblowers. Oh, I can't tell you that. I have to tell you what I think it is in a SCIF, a secured compartmentalized information facility, I believe is what it's called, where you could talk about that's classified. Oh, good God, Brooks. Do you think I'm wrong that this is designed to make these people, all of them, look like complete idiots?
It is exactly designed to make the whole UAP, UFO community look like fools. That's what it's designed to do. And the more foolish they can make them look, the more people will think they're fools. They don't have to be experts about it. I mean, these are infrared videos, which everything white is hot, everything black is cold. And it's very, very difficult to determine something's shape by infrared. It's just hard to do. And you're right about the parallax. It looks like that blob, whatever it is, if it's a balloon or a drone being pulled by a drone, it is changing shape. A missile doesn't change shape. It was
an alien jellyfish.
Yeah, it's just because well, remember the jellyfish video from a couple years ago? It's because it's a balloon and it's tumbling a little bit.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So the parallax is created because the helicopter that's filming it, or the jet that's filming it, is also flying. So you have this, kind of illusion of movement, because that thing's sitting at about 2,000 feet. You're sitting about 5,000 feet above it. You're traveling, so it makes it look like the water's traveling in the opposite direction underneath that object, giving you the illusion of speed. All Luna had to do was call either you or me over that video, and she could have blown these guys all out of the water and added credibility back to the meeting.
Or even some of the guys on Twitter that are posting the video. I mean, all this one guy did is he zoomed up on the video, took a close up, and it's like, okay, it's clearly a balloon that just gets popped and then starts tumbling. Oh my God. And again, I think so. I realize this is UFOs, and that's not what this show is about. This show is about hard news. But is there a hard news aspect to this, in the sense that is someone trying to destroy the credibility of government and these kinds of hearings in general because there's some other really important hearing coming up that they don't want? Luna and Boebert was there and people like that they don't want them to have credibility? Or, what do you there's got to be a political agenda here, because everything has a political agenda, including those clown whistleblowers that George Knapp found.
It's just like everybody that associates with Grush or Greer, anybody that associates with them is automatically discredited. So if something comes in the future, they can say, wait, weren't you in that meeting with Greer? Weren't you in that meeting with Grush? And your credibility immediately.
Don't you have a profile on Grindr? Did I say that out loud? Sorry. Did I say that out loud? So, Steve, any further opinions? I mean, I just think this whole thing is so easily debunked, discredited, taken apart in 2 seconds.
Well, I honestly don't believe there's any political agenda. It's just a typical governmental baloney.
You can say it. You can, Steve, wait, stop. You can say it. The word is clusterfuck. Clusterfuck, Steve. It's a typical government clusterfuck.
But I mean, people don't understand. Like when you work for the government, they think they look at the government like the movies, right?
Yeah.
And there is so much buffoonery that goes on, and so many idiots that bring up information and have bad information. And I mean, it's really 99% of what they do is a joke. You go into these meetings, you go in for hearings, and the things that are discussed aren't even worth discussing. And what they want to do is they want to push themselves as an expert, meaning the elected official, so they pretend to know what they're talking about, or they somebody is feeding them information throughout the hearing to make them look smart. And the reality is they come out looking like they look today, like a bunch of idiots.
Okay, so let's take a poll and then get out of this on a conspiracy scale of like 1 to 10, or let's just do an either or answer. Start with you, Blake. Do you think this is an example of a typical government clusterfuck, or do you think this is some evil, deep-seated, semi-satanic plot to discredit what little is left of the government that has credibility anymore? What do you think? Clusterfuck or conspiracy?
Oh man, I think it's both to some degree. It's hard to say. I know it's a longer answer, but I heard Luna. She was on Joe Rogan a few weeks ago talking about this with Tim Burchett, and I believe she was also mentioning the UFO stuff and saying that like this would be bad for her career not to go down this road. She doesn't care. Burchett doesn't care. But yeah, believe me that the people inside do not want any of this stuff out there. They want to make everybody look kooky, and they are definitely trying to undermine and destroy everything about the this community. So I don't know where I stand on
undermine.
That.
So you say you think undermine. So you think conspiracy. Steve, clusterfuck or conspiracy? I already know the answer, but what do you think?
See Charles Foxtrot.
See Charles Foxtrot. All right. Brooks, clusterfuck or conspiracy?
I'm with Blake. I think that they're trying to suck these people in and make them look foolish so that anything they say, anything they touch turns to dog shit.
Yeah. I got to go with conspiracy, and I've been begging in any way I can.
The problem is with your conspiracy vote is that there are people like you, people like Brooks, people like Blake, not me, of course, because I could give a shit. Yeah. But there are people like you out there who provide credible information. So, them taking a few idiots into a congressional hearing, asking them if they're terrified by a particular video,
Jesus Christ,
does not damage the credibility of Mike Bara, does not damage the credibility of Brooks Agnew and the other people out there who for years have been doing their homework and actually have hard research on the subject. Doesn't damage you at all.
Yes, it does. It damages you because that becomes the de facto standard for what a ufologist, an investigator is. When it should be me and this guy and there are a few others like us. It should be us, and it's these clowns. It's Jaime Maussan. It's Stephen Greer. It's Daniel Sheehan. It's all those guys you saw at Corbell. And these guys are just grifters and con men for the most part who are trying to make a buck off this. And don't believe me, I like money. I don't mind I'd like to make a buck doing UFO research, but that's not why I'm in it, and it's not going to interfere with my content.
Anybody with a brain, we know that most of the people in the United States don't have a brain, but anybody with a brain is going to they're going to see through a lot of the nonsense, and they're going to go to people who have expertise in a particular area. I mean, that's what I do. You know, I watch stuff all the time, and I'm like, what a bunch of baloney. And then I go to a credible source.
I don't know, Steve. I think the 9/11 conspiracy theories are so stupid that they discredit the conspiracy theory community. I think the moon landing hoax stuff discredits all of us. I mean, literally, when I say I researched the moon, or I'm a UFO investigator. Oh, you believe we faked the moon landings? Like, no, I don't. I got hired by the Science Channel for a 6-episode series, reality series, because they thought we didn't go to the moon. I know, we'll hire the conspiracy theorists. Thanks for the money. Thanks for the FaceTime. But I wrote 3 books that said, yes, we went to the moon. This is all bullshit. So it does discredit us. And especially if we can't get that platform. Now, again, you put me on that platform, and I am gonna be the bull in a china shop, and Brooks is gonna be sitting there going, yep, no, that's right. Yep, that's correct also. Yes, he's not wrong about that. So it does discredit us. And I think that's what this is all about. And I wonder if that means there's something coming around this. Because what they're clearly doing, I think, is making sure the people that are the faces of ufology right now are looked at as complete clowns.
Right.
But the government wants you to believe in UFOs. They want you to believe in little gray men running around. They've been using it for years to cover up their legitimate projects. They want you to believe in all that kind of stuff. They don't want to discredit it where you don't believe in it anymore.
Well, I'm not sure about that based on what I saw today, because you got it. Look, those witnesses, the whistleblowers, and I'm not even going to get into them yet right now, but they fed this thirst that these stupid idiot researchers and stupid idiot authors and documentarians and reporters have for this. They set these people up. I'm sorry, those 4 people, they were all approved by the Pentagon to talk there, as was another guy named David Grush, who was there last year at some hearings. And now he's on the staff with Anna Paulina Luna. I believe it's Luna's staff. It's one of the other people on the committee. And this guy, apparently, I don't know. I got to play this video. Apparently, this guy, he got into an altercation outside of a SCIF, which is a secure and compartmentalized information facility, last night or something before the hearing started. Let's go to this and see. This is Fredo interviewing Anna Paulina Luna, who still looks good in a bathing suit.
We have some good testimony from witnesses. Not to mention, again, you should ask Grush about the weird incident that happened prior to him going into the SCIF with me and Representative Burleson. Something happened as he was driving in to do a VTC with us. So it's very interesting kind of handling this topic. Obviously, anytime someone says, no, don't look there, you know me, Cuomo, I always tend to look and see what we can find. And what I can tell you is, there are many people from all across the DOD, across the entire U.S. government. Over 30 people, to include our own Secretary of State, have come forward and said, there's something here. And so I think to question it, to look at the evidence, and then decide for yourself what you have to see on the matter.
Joe Khalil, News Nation, got us the reporting. You can't just throw the Grush thing out there like that and not tell me what do you know about it? And why do I have to ask him? Do you know what it is?
Because I don't want to take that away from him, and law enforcement is involved. But in my opinion, if you are going to brandish any weapons at congressional staffers, it's very alarming. And I will leave it at that. But what I can tell you is it was very interesting in timing. And based on what we've heard previously with some of these witnesses, to include some witness testimony that you'll hear tomorrow, this is not the first documented case of this, which is incredibly important as to how do we address this in the future. First of all, whistleblower protections need to be a lot stronger. We also have different UAP legislation where these members of Congress are coming together. And I do think that also, there's a lot going on in the Hill. As you know, Cuomo, there's a lot of partisan stuff, but this is one of the few bipartisan things that we've been collectively able to work on together.
Okay, so it sounds to me, guys, like this guy Grush, who has a history of mental illness. He's been treated for a nervous breakdown. He's an alcoholic, and he was the star witness about a year ago at a similar congressional hearing, and he's now on the staff of one of the people on Steve, you still going to stick with clusterfuck? Apparently he brandished a weapon outside a skiff just a couple of days ago. I think that's what she said. So what the fuck, Steve?
She was talking. This is a deal. If you go into a skiff, you have to have a reason to go in there, and you have to be very specific what you're going in to look at. You just can't go in and start flipping through files. So it sounds to me like he showed up, demanded entry to look at certain files, and they said, look, get the hell out of here. We don't care who you work for. We don't care who sent you. You have to have very specific documentation and let us know what it is you're looking for. And if he tried to muscle his way in, he's lucky he didn't get shot.
Okay. Anybody else have a thought on that? Brooks, go ahead.
If you go back to the Grush hearing, I found this most interesting. A lot of people don't pay attention to the background. Who was sitting right behind Grush over his right shoulder, first row? James Clapper.
Clapper, right.
Tell me these people aren't handled.
Definitely.
They're handled. They're coached. When you see who's behind him, you see the power. He's the former DNI. I mean, this is the
So he's not the guy that invented the thing that turns the lights on?
No, that's the guy. That's the guy. He's probably on the docket to be arrested along with Brennan for treason.
Russiagate,
yeah. James Clapper is former, I believe, DNI or CIA.
DNI.
Deep into Uranium One and Russiagate and all sorts of crimes. And and you know what? Somebody actually tried to convince me. It was a Democrat, by the way. I think it might have been Alejandro Rojas, who is a fucking dumb shit, by the way. Also, but tried to talk me out of. He said, "Oh, that's not James Clapper." Apparently, it's just a guy who looks exactly like James Clapper in every way, shape, or form. But it wasn't Clapper, and I'm like, okay, I can't believe it. All right, enough flying saucer stuff. I just sent Congresswoman Luna an email. I could have saved you a lot of embarrassment today, Congresswoman. Please.
Yeah, they want to destroy her. She's got to be in the targets. She's a fearless patriot, and they're scared of her, and so they're going to try to take her down.
And she has nobody smart to talk to, about this stuff. And, look, I'm not a video expert. I probably wouldn't have been able to figure out how to zoom that up and take a look at what happens after the contact and figure out it was a balloon. But, because I'm not good at video stuff, but good God, somebody would have, or, I would have said, do we have anybody that can enhance this video and take a look at it? I mean, it would have saved you a lot of embarrassment. Now, speaking of embarrassment, a lot of people broke their teeth trying to bite Robert F. Kennedy Jr. last week in congressional testimony. We had Chris Christie, 900-pound Jabba the fucking Christie, criticizing RFK Jr. about his health policies and how he was going to be so terrible for American health. I don't have a video of that, but I'm going to let that pass. But RFK Jr. got something accomplished today, which is quite extraordinary. The U.S. government, President Trump has now signed a new executive order on pharmaceutical advertising. Let's take a quick look at that and listen to what he had to say about it.
The president just signed an executive order that's an historic change in the way that pharmaceutical advertising is done on television. And the order basically reinstates or gives us now the opportunity to reinstate the 1997 rules. Prior to 1997, pharmaceutical advertisers were required to put all the side effects on their ads. Many of them didn't advertise because it lengthened because of what it did to the length of the advertising. And that the removal of that requirement in 1997, FDA changed the rule to allow them to report the side effects on a website or on a telephone. And they only had to report a few of them on television. And that triggered a proliferation of these ads. There's only 2 countries in the world that allowed direct-to-consumer advertising by pharmaceutical companies on television. We're one of those countries. New Zealand is the other. It's had a disastrous impact on human health, on people's relationships with their doctors, and really on the entire gestalt where Americans are led to believe that there's a pill for every ill.
Okay, so that I think is absolutely fascinating. It brings me back, Blake, to the glory days of the 1990s of Formula One and IndyCar racing, and to a lesser extent NASCAR, where cigarette companies sponsored all these teams. I mean, Marlboro Penske, Marlboro McLaren. God, those cars were fucking beautiful.
Yeah, the Winston Cup.
The Winston Cup, all that stuff. Absolutely beautiful cars with cigarette advertising. And then they came along in the early 2000s or late 90s and said, oh, no, we can't have that. That's bad. You know, cigarette smoking is bad for you. Well, you know what? Last time I checked, Blake, and I'm going to you first. Last time I checked, smoking one cigarette has never, ever been responsible for anyone's death. Can you say that about literally almost any pharmaceutical? And I'm going to give you the answer. It's no. So is it a good thing that the pharmaceutical companies at least are going to have to go back to the, you know, advertising a little bit more honestly, like saying, well, you know, among the possible side effects are death and anal leakage, or anal leakage followed by death. Is that a good thing? Are we glad they're doing it? And should we maybe just completely ban pharmaceutical advertising the same way we ban cigarette advertising? What's the difference? If anything, to me, the pharmaceuticals are more dangerous.
Oh, definitely. I mean, hold on. I mean, I did smoke for 13 years. It's highly addictive. I'm thankfully that I managed to stop. So there is definitely a drawback there. But the pharmaceuticals are, you know, a lot of people they put these companies on a pedestal. They just like vaccines, that has become like a religion. People are insane over these things, and there's a lot of problems, and there's a ton of corruption. So yeah, this all needs to be scrutinized, and it's amazing how far the corruption has gone with so many people. It's pervasive, and yes, he's absolutely right. RFK has been fantastic. Him and Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, there's been some, you know, great things, but he is killing it. He absolutely roasted a lot of the senators on the Hill a few days ago as well. So I love what he's doing. I love that he's giving these people fits, and it's showing them, you know, exposing how corrupt the whole system is. So
yeah, exactly. The people who are getting the most money from the pharmaceutical companies like Pocahontas are the ones who went after him the hardest. So same question to you, Brooks. What do you think about this issue? And should we just ban pharmaceutical advertising the same way we ban tobacco advertising? And, you know, I know a lot of people who swear by nicotine gum and stuff. Now, it's addicting. It definitely is addicting physically. But, you know, people like Tucker Carlson and AJ from the Y-Files, they swear to God they feel fantastic on nicotine. Well, what do you think about that, Brooks? Is this an issue?
Well, I definitely think pharmaceuticals should not be advertised the way that they're advertised. They hire these companies to go out and shoot this B-roll, like a bunch of senior citizens riding bicycles or playing shuffleboard or playing around the pool or having a cookout. And then they add the audio on top of this about how this drug is going to make you feel so much better and how it's going to make you lose weight and cut your A1C and reduce your risk of diabetes and all that. And then they add the line, ask your doctor about whatever it is. We are not the drug salesman. We should not be going to our doctor. Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, you know, about this drug that will make me lose this gut. And the doctor is going to say, really? I haven't heard about it. No, he's not going to say that. He's going to say, you're not going to take that drug. You take that drug, you're going to end up in a nursing home in 5 years, because he knows all the side effects. But
he's going to say, yes, buy this particular drug because they're paying me to push it on my patient.
Paying me to do it. Right. So you can't watch Fox News, a football game. You can't watch anything. Every single ad is about drugs.
Fox News lives, and not that I have any problem with them. I love you guys. Thank you for almost having me on tonight and having me on before and having me and Brooks on Fox Nation. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. By the way,
but they're all
episode of Fox Nation for a long time.
All right, but they are getting paid by the pharmaceutical companies. So So what do you think, Brooks? I mean, do we need a complete crackdown on pharmaceutical advertising? Because it will hurt.
Yeah. And I really liked what he did. RFK gave as good as he got. They tried to do all this gotcha against him. And he said, look, you've been sitting in that chair for 25 years while chronic disease went up and up and up in our kids, and you never once asked why. Well, I'm trying to find out why.
Yeah. That was a brilliant moment. That was a brilliant moment in that. Steve, what do you think about the pharmaceutical company advertising? You've actually had quite a bit of dealings with different drugs and treatments and stuff. And, it seems to me that you've said it numerous times that in your case, the best thing for you was eating healthy, eating right, cutting the sugar out, and drinking really super pure water, right? I mean, that did more for you than any drugs did.
Well, that's number one. I mean, you've got to get your body in order. And the only way to do that is by eating good food, drinking quality water, not the stuff out of the tap. I mean, I happen to have a well that's 400 and some feet deep, but the reality is you cannot get better unless you fix the small things first. And the two things that have to be fixed immediately are your diet and what you're drinking. So once you do that, it allows your body to begin to heal itself. And then there are other things which I'm not going to go into. But see, people want immediate gratification. And so if they're not getting immediate gratification, they don't like it. So when these drug companies come out, even if you have to put up with anal leakage and possible death, it's like, well, maybe I won't get that and it'll fix my problem. But I mean, how many times do you go to the doctor and they go, well, I'll just give you this prescription? I mean, I have refused. I can't even begin to tell you how many prescriptions I have refused. Yeah. Because, it would be a quick fix, something that might work for a week or two, maybe a month, maybe 6 months. But then the detriment to my health would outweigh the quick fix for the moment. Yeah. So I was like, I don't want it.
Mm-hmm. I'm not. Thank you for the super sticker, Big Dog. So, Boy Dogs too. Thank you for the super sticker, $4.99. You guys can rumble, rant, and super chat if you want to. We appreciate that. But I mean, what do you think is the solution here? Because I had a doctor when I moved here. I had to get a new doctor. Found a doctor. He was some young kid right out of school. All it was is, what are your symptoms? He puts the symptoms into the computer and it spits out the drugs to give me. Yeah. And I mean, I was going to be on 18 pills a day, and I said, I'm going to get a new doctor. So that's what I did.
Well, I mean, what do you think? Number one, they shouldn't be allowed to advertise at all. There's no reason for it. And secondly, it should be, if they're going to advertise to medical professionals, not John Q. Public, because people get it in their head. I knew a girl who was a professional model, and she used to research different drugs that would help her keep the weight off her body, right? Yeah. And she wouldn't have to suffer through not eating certain things because these pills would make it so she didn't want to eat. And today, she is so screwed up internally, I don't know if she's going to live very long. And it's because, she'd see these commercials. Oh, one of the side effects is you're not hungry. So she'd go to her doctor. I have these symptoms. I want this pill. And the doctor would give it to her. And because it's not a controlled narcotic, they don't care. They'll give you whatever you want.
No. And in fact, some of the really
people going blind over this Ozempic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
if somebody told you, hey, Mike, you can take this, you'll be skinny, you'll have a six pack, but you'll be blind. I mean, you're a moron.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And, Dave Bara, they tried to put him on that, and he was taking 25 milligrams, and they upped it to 50 milligrams, and he got so nauseous, he said he wanted to die. He was like dry heaving for 24 hours. And I said, Mike Bara's going to skip that. I'm just going to have to drop a little weight the old-fashioned way. Do some push-ups, cut back on the Dr. Pepper. That's not
more sex. I get it. I totally get it. I mean, I went to my doctor. The first thing she said, she's a newbie just like the one you went to. Oh, we're going to put you on a cholesterol drug. Got to get that cholesterol down. I said, what are you talking about? It's 187, and my good cholesterol is rocking shit because I work out all the time.
Yeah.
And I said, besides, do you know the research? If you give a cholesterol drug to somebody over the age of 65, you start drawing the cholesterol out of their brain.
Yeah.
And in
That's
5
what
years,
dementia.
they show signs of dementia and they're in a nursing home.
Right.
Yes, yes, I did see that study. I said, so we're not doing that, are we? No, I guess we're not doing that.
We're not doing that. How would you know that, Deb? Okay, so you know what? Are we getting dangerously close, though, to the point? I mean, I think if the Biden-Harris people were in charge, I think we're getting dangerously close to the point where if a doctor prescribes you something, they're going to force you to take it. And if we don't defeat this pharmaceutical industrial complex, like right now on the battlefield today, I think that's what we're heading. That's where we're heading for.
Yeah,
don't
I
you?
think so.
Yeah.
I think you're exactly right. They're going to say either you take this drug or we cancel your insurance.
Yeah, or we cancel your Social Security, or we cancel your Medicaid, or whatever it is, Medicare. Yeah,
I haven't had
agree.
health insurance in 25 years. I paid for all my health care in cash, even when I had cancer. I licked it all, and believe me, I've paid for 3 new cars with what I would have spent on health insurance.
Yeah, wild. Absolutely wild. Okay, Greta Thunberg, climate activist Greta Thunberg, who apparently has discovered dick and has now got another interest in life. She's got a boyfriend. Unbelievable. Who would dick that? I don't know, not me. But she was attacked. The boat she was on was attacked by some sort of bomb just yesterday. Or was it? Well, let's take a look at the video and find out. Oh, okay. There's a guy on her boat. There's a video. What's he doing? Her boat was seen on fire. Oh, it's a flare. Oh, he set the flare up. Smoke alarm's going off.
Wow. We've been hit. What do you do with that flare gun, big boy? You're an anchor.
Oh! Okay, so that's about enough of that. All right, Blake first. Blake, again, it looks to me like this was a stunt gone bad. Like they were going to use this flare gun to set their own boat on fire. It looks like he actually set one of his own guys on fire. It sounds like it anyway. To try to claim that they were being attacked for being climate activists, I think that's why the guy's yelling, "We've been hit, we've been hit," and it didn't occur to them that somebody was watching the security stream on the boat and recorded the whole thing. What do you think about this incident? Because it was reported instantly, right away.
I thought they were doing the Palestinian thing, not climate.
Yeah, Greta Thunberg was attacked for being a climate activist.
Without rewatching the beginning, it's hard to say whether it was something they were playing around with it and it went wrong, was an accident, or did they stage it? But
okay,
yeah,
well, here, all right, let me show you again. Let me show you again.
I believe you, but so they've changed it now.
No, here's this guy. Here's the guy in the white. Okay, yeah. He's right here. He's playing with something, and just what? He drops it when it sets off. See that click sound? That's a lighter. He's lighting something. Okay, so there it is. I think he's definitely, because you can hear somebody clicking a lighter. It sounds like to me. Steve, am I wrong?
Sounds like it to me. If I was the captain of that ship, all those people would be walking the plank.
Yeah. Go ahead, Blake.
Yeah, no, I mean it's embarrassing. So they had to like stage it. Oh yeah, we were attacked. Yeah, it sounds a lot better. And she's this AstroTurf activist, so it's hard to say because she can't just come in quietly. They have to make some kind of a spectacle whenever.
I would like them to explain what they were attacked
of
by.
her own, but
I said I would like them to explain what they were attacked by. I mean, it definitely wasn't a missile.
It was like a drone. I think they said.
There was one of the women that made a statement afterwards, said that she saw a drone fly over the boat and drop a bomb on them.
With a Zippo lighter?
That was her statement. And that's what everybody was supposed to believe. I guess she didn't know, like Mike, that somebody had hacked into that surveillance feed and was watching the camera and recorded it.
Well, it's the same baloney that Greenpeace used to do. They'd say that they were being shot at, and the guy would bring out his security card's badge with a bullet in it, and all that nonsense, and nobody ever did anything to him.
Yeah. Thoughts, Blake? Well, I guess what I want more to talk about is what do you think of the coverage of this event? Because Alex Jones was like, praying for the safety of Greta Thunberg a couple hours ago when this first happened. Give me a fucking break.
No, you've always got to be skeptical of Greta Thunberg. And like I said, she's not a charismatic leader who comes out and I mean, it's all just a media spectacle. I rarely hear her speak unless it's completely scripted. But they've always got to show her as like she's the new like Gen Z super activist. But it doesn't make any sense. So. This is what they have to do is do a publicity stunt.
You're right, Deb. Most men do not scream like a girl. Brooks,
even when she's arrested, it's scripted.
Yeah, exactly. Your thoughts. Steve, any further thoughts on that one other than what a load of bullshit?
Just annoyance.
Yeah.
I can't even believe that anybody would, to be honest with you, I can't even believe that the news would cover something like that unless they were exposing them for the fraud that they committed. I can't believe somebody say, pray for Greta. She could, potentially be killed in her quest. What a ridiculous statement to make.
That would be like
she'll set her own self on fire.
Yeah, that would be like the women of Nanking in World War II posting pray for Emperor Hirohito. Not really. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Okay. One other thing that happened and this I think is partly what knocked me off the Will. Why do I not remember his name? I want to say Will Gates, but that's not
Will
it.
Kane, Superman.
Will Kane, off of his show tonight. Video came out of an incident from 3 weeks ago where a Ukrainian girl named Irina Zarutska was murdered in cold blood by a black guy on a subway.
She was riding the blue line right over here.
Blue line in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Right.
It was a racial attack. He talked to. I'm not going to show you the video because the young lady dies, and she was a Ukrainian immigrant. She came over here
as a refugee.
Living in Charlotte, sitting on a train, bus, blue line, and was just murdered in cold blood by a Negro. And there has been no mention of making it a hate crime, but it hit the news today because the surveillance video came out. And again, if this was a white perpetrator against a black victim, we would have been hearing about it 24/7 for the last 3 weeks since it happened. There would be riots all over the place. There's been none of this. I have a deeper question. And Blake, I keep throwing it to you first. I want to do it again. It is a hate crime, Jules. Absolutely a hate crime. How much longer do you think it's going to be before white people decide they've had enough and it's war in the streets? It's literally or vigilante justice. Because this guy, there's a judge. This guy has a criminal record longer than Steve Doran's dick, which is huge. And not that I would know that, but Steve told me. And, should not have been on the streets, and he was out there to murder. So, I mean, do you think this leads What do you think of the state of race relations in this country? Because I think they're awfully terrible because of Barack Hussein Obama, but that's just my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's been brewing, it's been compounding, and people have been seeing this unfairly covered for a long time. They know what's going on, and I think we're in a very dangerous spot right now where you probably might be seeing some of that. I don't want to say lynch mobs or something like that, but we're not that far away. This has gone too far. That it's sickening that the media would just the way that they, didn't cover this at all, not a peep until they were absolutely forced to, and then they were like just mad that they had to cover it. Like how do we have to cover stuff? We don't just cover every murder that goes on, but at the same time, if it was the other way around, it would be nonstop coverage. So
there would be.
Yeah.
This is really interesting. There's members of the Black community who understand this. There's a guy that I follow. His public name is Donovan Sharp. He has a different name than I started watching his videos because he would coach men on how to pick up women and how to know when they're cheating on you and stealing from you and just figuring out women in general. And I've watched the guy. I've called into his show. I think he's really a brilliant guy. He's a Black man. He lives up in Reno. And I admire his takes on masculinity and interactions between men and women. And even he said that this is, showing this picture. And he said, when white people in this country start retaliating, God help us all. And I honestly think we're about 6 inches away from that. And I just like to know, Steve, what do you think?
Well, if anybody's seen this video, the saddest part, I mean, obviously a young girl lost her life with a piece of scum murderer taking it from her for absolutely no reason. But if you notice, the train was full of other blacks and they did nothing to assist her. Nothing. Yeah. They let her sit there and die. So it's more than just the attacks, the murders, the rapes, the assaults. It's a cultural thing where, where they're not even concerned with somebody potentially losing their life, or they watch somebody getting attacked and they completely ignore it. I mean, people are so tired of that. I've seen throughout my career where somebody gets shot, stabbed, mugged, whatever the case may be. And instead of the locals helping them, they rob them blind. They take their phone, they take their wallet, they take their money, they take their shoes, and still don't call medical or alert the police of what has just transpired. So, it's a cultural thing, and it's not difficult to explain. They have no moral compass. They have
no souls. They have no fucking souls. They have no fucking soul. They don't have a soul.
I mean, they really don't. It's like, they get praised for lying. They get praised for stealing. They get praised for doing things like this guy did. They got people jumping through hoops to put money in GoFundMe. At least GoFundMe took it down. And, I mean, this guy is worse than any animal on the planet and needs to be destroyed like a rabid dog.
Like a rabid dog. Yeah, I agree with that. And
yet people are coming to his aid. Oh, he's not responsible. Oh, he was just doing what his culture does.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's gonna get nasty here, not too long a period of time.
You're seeing this worldwide. You're seeing it in Ireland. It looks like Conor McGregor is going to be the next president of Ireland. Thank God. You're seeing it in Britain with the protests. Unfortunately, the power structures are all dominated by the globalists, the left wing. And I mean, if it comes to a fight, Brooks, you wrote Birth. Birth is about Earth splitting apart. It seems to me like it's about to come true, right? Aren't we going to have? I mean, can we live with the people? I don't know if I can live with the people who would support this guy. I don't know if I can. I don't want to live in the same country with those people. I don't have the same values. I want them all the immigrants to go back where they came from, and I want anybody who supports them to go live with them and leave my country alone. What do you think?
Well, this senseless murder took place actually 2 weeks ago. Vi Lyles, who's the woke mayor that we have in Charlotte, ordered the media not to play the video. Why? Because today she ran for election again, re-election. So that she did not want this video coming out. Saturday, what happened is somebody at the Charlotte area transit system leaked the video to X. I ran with the story on Sunday night, and it broke fucking worldwide. What this guy did, standing up, stabbing this girl 3 times right under the collar, and then her looking up at him like a cat that just got slapped for no reason whatsoever, folding in on herself and then falling on the floor and dying, and nobody doing anything about it. And him dripping in so much blood that he had to take his hoodie off. And as he was taking it off, he was recorded on the same video. I got that white girl. I got that white girl.
Yeah. I know. It's sick. And
So
it's a hate crime.
The FBI came today and turned it into a hate crime and charged him federally with first-degree murder.
Yeah, because we all know that the state and local prosecutors are not going to do anything about it, which
That's
don't we need to remove all them and throw them in jail at the very least.
Here's what Irina Zarutska did not know, because she's from Ukraine. She's working at a pizzeria, and she was just taking the Blue Line home, which is a train right over here about 2 miles from my house. White people don't ride that train after dark. They haven't for years. She didn't know that. It infuriated DeCarlos Brown, and he just stood up and stabbed her for no reason at all. That's the rage that's bubbling in Charlotte right now.
Well, and then the other side of the coin is that when these guys are caught, like that black woman who beat that 1-year-old child half to death, and they literally gave her no jail time. They let her walk.
A liberal judge just let her out, let her go. No consequences.
The reason he was on the streets is because a woke judge who had no degree, she's not a member of the bar, she owns a nonprofit called Second Chances, and she gets grants from the state through the woke mayor, by the way, to treat people like DeCarlos Brown. So she releases him with a written agreement that he's going to show up for treatment. In the meantime, he stabs this woman to death.
In my opinion, the judge, the mayor, all the people involved need to also go to jail and be
absolutely charged. They all need to be perp walked
at the very least, but they certainly need to be removed.
It's going to be very hard to get a jury. Very hard.
The other thing, Steve, is the other point. I don't think people knew what happened at first. I didn't see that much blood actually on her. She was just kind of sitting there, and I saw a little blood on her. So maybe they didn't know what happened. Also, Brooks, let me ask you
what happened.
This is a liberal town. This is a liberal town. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm willing to bet that guns are not allowed on that train, and there was nobody there with a weapon who could have taken this guy down. So everybody was probably afraid. Is that correct?
Now. There will be now. That's what I'm saying. We're watching.
So
it's only a matter of time before the next Carlos Brown gets 5 rounds in the forehead. And that's going to start the ball rolling.
Well, but that's the point. If I'm on that train and I see what happened and I know he's murdered her or he's trying to murder her, and I'm packing like I'm allowed to do in this state, I'm taking my gun out and I'm taking him down because he's a threat to everybody on the train, right?
That's right.
But in that city, under those circumstances, am I doing that? Because they're going to make me a criminal. They're going to go after me, not him. So that's also possible. So what needs to happen? Again, President Trump has talked about concealed carry reciprocity across all 50 states. There also needs to be unlimited concealed and open carry anywhere you want to go. Doesn't there have to be, Steve?
I have a concealed carry in North Carolina, and the rules are if you're to prevent grievous bodily harm to somebody else, you can draw and fire.
But would they let you on that bus with that weapon? And if you draw and fire, are they going to prosecute you, not him? Because that's where it is in places like New York.
Detectors on that train. You can get on and get off anytime you want.
All right. Blake, you look appalled. Did
No,
you not see? I mean, I'm not playing the video. I'm not playing the video because it's horrifying. But
No, you don't need to. It's these are things. We're a powder keg at this point. We don't want to get to that breaking point. Don't want anyone innocent getting hurt. But yeah, it's time for that big conversation for everybody across the country. Like, what kind of country do we want to live in? People are tired of this stuff. They've had enough. It's the fatigue. So it's going to be a response at some point. So after the Carmelo Anthony thing at this, and now the Charlotte thing, this stuff is compounding. And at some point, this is going to snap, I fear. But what are we going to do with those if there's not some kind of something done, especially with the prosecutors and whoever allowed this to happen? So it's going to be some big changes at some point.
Yep.
There won't be big changes. There needs to be big changes.
Right.
I sent you a picture, Mike. This is what she looked like after she got stabbed 3 times. She's still alive, looking up at him. This picture should be the face of the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
Look at this woman.
Yeah.
She's been stabbed 3 times. She knows she's going to die. And she's looking up like a cat that just got spanked and didn't know why.
Yeah, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look at it because it makes me want to do what Charles Bronson did in Death Wish. That's what it makes me want to do. I think that's where it goes, Steve, don't you? I mean, isn't that the only solution? If the police won't protect anybody, then don't you have...
I mean, you have a right. You have a right to protect yourself. And
yeah, but it's more than that. I mean, I'm talking about vigilante justice. I'm not talking about protecting yourself. I'm talking about, don't you think somebody pretty soon here is going to go out and start looking for people to take out on the subways and the trains? And
well, to be honest with you, I think they already are. But again, you're not hearing anything about it because they don't want to glorify it in any way, shape, or form. But I think people already are. They're not putting up with certain things. People come into certain towns, commit crimes, try to strong arm people, that type of thing, and they just happen to disappear.
Yeah, I think Donovan Sharp and other people are correct. I think we're on the brink of a race war here.
We've always had these problems. I mean, it's like years ago, I can't remember how many, 25, 30. There was a guy and he literally bullied an entire town. He was like this town terrorist. And finally one day somebody came along and said, hey, you're not going to bully me, and took the guy out. Well, you would think that everybody would be happy about it because of all the horrific things that this guy would like see your daughter on the porch and grab her and rape her in his vehicle out in front of your house, and nobody would do anything to him. They were so scared. And, so finally somebody takes him out, and instead of this person who, by the way, they never caught, instead of praising him for what he did and finally taking action because the police wouldn't do it, the police were scared of him, everybody was scared of him, they made the criminal the victim. And he had committed all of these documented atrocities. And we're still there today. It's like, oh, you can't take the law into your own hands. You're a horrible person if you, get involved in something that's none of your business. And I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, if this show doesn't get my channel taken down, I don't know what will. But at least we will have done it in the spirit of the truth. So, on that extremely depressing note, I think we're going to end the show tonight. Wait and see how it develops. President Trump is supposedly sending National Guard to Chicago, I guess, tonight, something like that. So I think it's only going to escalate from here. So we'll see. Any final thoughts, TV's Blake Wally? Anything you wanted to talk about this week that we didn't get to?
Not so far. It's been a slower week so far, but I guess we'll see what happens. It's been a delightful show. Glad to be back. But
thanks for being here. Steve Doran, Trail Boss, any final thoughts before we get out of here today?
Well, as I said, right now, nothing's changed. Everything's exactly the same as it was during the Biden administration. It really is. When you look at the big picture, and I continue to encourage people to prepare, to make sure that they're taking care of themselves and their loved ones, because nobody else is going to do it.
Brooks, any final thoughts or anything else you wanted to talk about that we didn't get?
You are your first line of defense. You call 911 and order a pizza, and you watch and see which one gets there first.
All right. Also, to remind everybody, you can now, you're shipping again, get Ivan and Roxy from Dr. Brooks Agnew's site.
They shut it down again. India Post has shut it down. And not only do I not have any ivermectin, my orders are going to ship the ones that I already sent in. Nobody in the entire country has ivermectin. Everyone is out. Iver-MT is out. Parapurge is out. Everyone's out of it. And you mark my words, they're going to release some kind of badass flu in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And they're going to try to smash this Trump economy again.
I suspect that's exactly what you have planned on that even more depressing news. All right. Shit. Thanks, Brooks. That really depressed me. I'm gonna go drink. Thanks for being here. Unless the Iraqi dinar revalues overnight, I'm not planning on doing a show tomorrow. We're heading into alien events. Biomed Expo starts on Friday. Everybody's getting here over the next couple days. Jen's already in Vegas. I've got other things to do. Everybody, protect yourselves, protect your loved ones, hoard your Ivan if you've got it, it sounds like. I have 10 pills left. I have 1 dose left. So that makes me very concerned. Thank you. But that I'm also thinking about all the other people out there. So tonight's show was not a lot of fun. Let's see if YouTube bans me or something. I hope not. But thanks for being here. Love you guys. We'll be back. I don't think we're going to do next week. I think I'm going to be busy, but we'll see. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.